All right, I think that's it. Let's see what's going on. I'm still getting used to this thing. I need to adjust my camera. There we go. All right. Well, whether people show up or not, I don't know why I don't have access to those features. Like I said, I'm used to this stream webcam manage. I'm just kind of checking things out. Can I have? I know I can't upvote myself. All right. Let's see. I can say. Uh, oh, uh, I just kind of do that to see if some hearts will show up. I shared it. I need to share screen. And I think I'm done. Okay, cool. All right. I am doing this live because, well, let's think. What do we want to say? For the past, you know what? I'm going to move this camera because I just don't like where it is in relation to me. I really just don't. Mm. Okay. So, this is what's been happening to me for the past 8 years of my life, and see if you can follow that. My ex wife left me, and all I had known in life and all I ever wanted to be was a husband and a father since my parents divorced when I was 10, and I basically lost my family emotionally. They're still alive, but they basically became more and more distant through my whole life to the point now they no longer speak to me. So, about 8 years ago, I developed what's called bipolar. They call it mental illness. I call it a mental condition because I've learned how to work with my bipolar, and it has actually led to a rather stunning transformation in myself where sometimes I have a hard time recognizing who I was when I started this. Um, because, if something different was going to happen in this world and somebody was going to go through the process so that could happen, they certainly would seem crazy to people who are used to a world where the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again and they never see anything new. They wouldn't be able to recognize it when they saw it. So I went through this process for 7 of those years of taking whatever drugs they would give me so I could hold down an engineering job I didn't want because I was supposed to support my ex wife and my son, even though my ex wife divorced me and refused to work on the marriage at all. After 19 years, just fuck you. I'm not working on this, which is, her decision. I just don't think she should get paid for it personally. That doesn't seem like the right way to go because our son is over 18. So he's an adult now, should be able to deal with things. And, anyways, well, I tried that for 7 years. I tried it their way. I really did. I tried to fit in and do what you're supposed to do when you have bipolar in order for people to be okay that you have bipolar. And you know what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I know it doesn't work. And so I did this radical notion. I said, maybe I have bipolar for a reason. And maybe the answer is not what all these doctors and society and pretty much everyone except people who've had the experience of being on a psych ward say that you have to be medicated. Maybe the answer is that I learned to work with whatever this bipolar is as best I can, whatever my body is doing. Not my mind, my body, right? You don't have a mind and a heart, you have a body. And then whatever's going on in this body that you would like to call a soul. I think whatever's going on inside you is very, very interesting. I don't know if I call it a soul. I think it's something that's way more interesting and profound than a soul, but we'll get into that later. This is not the only live I'm going to do because basically now, because of what's happened, fast forward now, I'm going to be homeless potentially within 15 days as I attempt to give the performance of a lifetime as a stand up comedian, a personality comedian. This is my personality, me. And, I'm not here to make you laugh. I'm here to share my experiences, which people genuinely seem to enjoy. I know because on my last psych ward, number 8, this is what I did just tell stories and talk to people, and they loved it. I was the most popular person there with both the people on the ward and the staff, and they were actually sad for me to leave their psych ward, which does not happen usually. So I went through 7 years of doing things their way. I tried it, right? Because I want to fit in. Even though I'm miserable, I still want because I believe I have to be miserable, right? And that's the real problem here. You all believe you have to be miserable, that you have to live in a horrible world that's never getting better. Let me ask you something real quick here. How hot is it usually in Tucson, Arizona on, I don't say, June 9th? Because I'll tell you this, based off of my life experiences, it should at least be at least 113, at least more. But I've sat here and watched the news feed and seen them an excessive heat warning go off about every hour about how hot it is in Tucson, Arizona. And it's, I don't know, about 100 degrees when I last checked. Just about 100. So we have an excessive heat warning when it's actually 13 degrees cooler than it usually is for the summer. How exactly is that excessive heat for summer in Tucson at this time? For anybody who lives here, anybody who's used to it. And you have to understand in Tucson, the people who can afford to leave, leave. They do. Everybody leaves town. They can. That's just what happens in Tucson. All right, nobody goes out during the day. But it should be about, I don't know, at least 10 degrees hotter right now. That means the people who think climate change is so important and so real um, want you to believe that the one place I know is getting better because of climate change is Tucson, Arizona, because the summer is 10 degrees cooler than it used to be. Some places have more snow, some places have more rain, some places that have been always very hot are getting a little cooler. Sometimes weather patterns change. Who knows why? I know that you guys are very attached to your math and science, would like to make a model of anything in the fucking existence so you can win an arms race about how smart you are and try and get a PhD and a Nobel Prize or whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. All right, you can try and prove as much, be as smart as you want as you try and beat the universe and try and, I guess, steal its secrets. I don't know what kind of relationship you think you have with the universe that you're interacting with. I will tell you this: the universe has to be inherently good. Why? Because we're here. Nothing inherently bad would produce us, would produce a universe that is far beyond, fucking far beyond the part we can see, the observable universe. So far beyond that. All of that is necessary for us to exist, okay? It's nothing more than a giant sea of chaotic behavior that is somehow producing not only an organized structure, but a structure that leads to not only life, which is exceedingly rare, but a life that can look at itself in the mirror and say, hey, that's Ben, I know him. Okay? So, yeah, extremely unlikely. But if you roll the dice enough, you will get, you will, roll a 20 on a 20 sided dice. Okay. It will happen. Well, that's nothing more than what the universe is. And, scientists want to describe that with models and books and have contests about how right they are. and what the lab equipment tells them, which is fine on here because you fucking don't. All right. If that's your approach to understanding the world around you, I need to be able to build a rocket and go to a fucking celestial body like the moon and do some shit I really shouldn't be doing as I showboat on it and drive a goddamn flagpole in the fucking thing and change women forever in my own country. I mean, what the fuck? I don't get it. All right. I like talking to people. Okay. I want to go to open mics, but because of my foot, I can't, and I have no way to get anywhere. So please believe me. If I don't get any help within the next 15 days, I'm going to be homeless. And I'd much rather be a stand up comedian. I really would. I think I'd be very good at it. I'm very good at talking to people. But if I don't get any help, it's over. I can't do anything if I can't get the help I need, and I've just gone to my last person and they won't help me. And I'm sure if you talk to them, they'll tell you what a horrible person I am. I just wonder if how horrible I am is worth killing me over, because that's what's going to happen when I become homeless. Because not only am I going to be homeless, I'm going to have to deal with the fact that my very own father and mother made me homeless when I had my chance to actually shine and do something I want to do with my life instead of what they want me to do with my life, which is basically go back to doing something I know won't work. All right. So I can think that's the first live. That's all I really have to say for now. I'm going to do it because there's like, I don't know, a video on YouTube and this is easy to do. But I need help. I really do. What is it? Yeah, it's the ninth. Okay, so that means I have the rest of the month to the 30th. Okay, that's good. So that's like 20 days. And then probably about 5 or 10 days before after I don't pay rent because I have no money and my father won't help me. And even though I filed the paperwork yet on disability and it should be coming within a year, he won't help me. I have a disability, bipolar, and PTSD. He won't help me. He has millions of dollars, literally. He won't help me. This is the type of family that hands out college scholarships to other people who have nothing to do with our family so they can go to college. But their own flesh and blood, they would rather die instead of give them anything they need to actually, I don't know, do anything but be miserable and go to a psych ward every year because that's the alternative. He wants me to leave an apartment that I need for my mental stability. Well, guess what? When I have bipolar and I know how to manage it, if I tell you I need my apartment for my mental stability, then I need my fucking apartment for my mental stability. Okay? I've been on enough psych wards to know what I need. I don't know why these people keep telling me that I don't need what I need, but they don't know what the fuck my care requires. And I honestly believe at this point it's just a sophisticated, sophisticated way to kill me. I really do. These people have threatened. This is not the first time. This is actually the third time they've threatened me with being homeless. It's either there, just because I need money, I need help. So I don't know. I'll put my email in the chat if you want to help me. Email me. I really could. Yeah, at least a buddy to talk to because I have no one to talk to here. They've got me isolated. They got nobody in my family will help me. I have enough food for however long, but I have no means to buy any more. All right. I certainly can't go to open mics and be discovered that way. So I'm hoping I get discovered this way, or somebody chooses to help me and letting instead of letting me die. Because the fun thing about being homeless, probably going to be able to go to a shelter and have somewhere to live. Those slots are taken already by people who have gone through the same thing, where their loved ones abandoned them and they have nowhere to turn and now they're homeless. All right. Those places that help the homeless have a place to sleep, they're actually a place halfway house. They're usually occupied by people who have a job of some kind, like landscaping, but don't have enough money to like a hotel room or a house to live in. So they're living at like the Salvation Army, and they're living wherever that has a place for homeless people to live. So they have somewhere to live as they try and reintegrate. So there is no alternative for me. So please help. I don't want to die. I really don't. But I think in about 30 days, they'll basically kick off the process where I were. Will, if anything I say seems unbelievable, it seems like it can't possibly be true, seems like God wouldn't want to help us, or that couldn't happen, or any other excuse you want to tell yourself about anything I would say, and say, why don't you want good things for yourself? Why do you choose to believe if something's too good to be true, you should probably follow it? Because at least it will take you where you need to go. If someone's lying to you, you'll find out they're lying to you. But you will also possibly find out something much better than what's going on in your life. And what's going on in your life is a government that is purposely lying to you and covering up the fact that climate change is actually good in some places and the weather does change on its own, and the scientists are just mad because they don't understand why. Okay? But no one's trying to kill you, no one's trying to annihilate the planet. There aren't asteroids flying at it that are going to kill you. All right, you can talk about how likely it is to occur, but I always tell you, no one would produce conscious life that's self-aware just to wipe it out with a comet or a meteorite or whatever. However, they wouldn't do that. Wouldn't waste your time doing it. Okay, all these nuclear devices you have strapped together to have world peace are not being held together because the American government is so good at managing itself, or people in general are so good at it. All right. Just look around and use a little common sense. As George Carlin says, everything anyone tells you should be examined critically. All right. And just have some thoughts. Do you want to live in a world where it's inherently bad, that you come here so you have to die, and at any time something could happen distant space and it could kill you, and that nowhere is it getting better because of climate change? Because scientists understand things so well. As soon as they start explaining to me what dark matter and dark energy is with any meaningful content, as soon as they can really tell me what's going on in the quantum realm and predict anything they do without the mathematics that they've developed to do it, and any kind of common sense explanation as to what's going on in the quantum realm, then I'll be willing to admit they might know something about what's going on, but they don't. All right. I'm sorry your process sucks. Maybe you should look at your process and stop blaming concepts like God. All right. Just because it was difficult for you to develop science because of religious people, it doesn't mean it's God's fault. Sounds like those religious people suck. I would also say I don't know if the scientific process would have occurred if it had not been so challenging to develop it. If you were not facing oppression, it's kind of like Taylor Swift's song, "If I Were a Man." Well, Taylor, Ben Basket coming to you live, Tucson, Arizona. I'll challenge you on your karma song. Okay, first of all, you shouldn't be singing about karma. If anybody on this planet should be calling karma their boyfriend, it should be me, and I'm not gay. Okay? Homeless people know what karma is like. There's something's keeping them alive while society has abandoned them. You, however, Taylor Swift, are making millions of dollars while crushing men and pretending somehow it's female empowerment. That is not female empowerment. You are a very talented artist, and yes, you are gifted at writing, but you also happen to be able to write about stuff that millions of other people can relate to, which is why you're so popular. And you never bothered to ask yourself why that's occurring. Why are there millions upon millions of people who just get your music and enjoy it and think it's the best thing ever? Why would that be occurring? Would it be because you're just so talented and no one like you has ever existed? Or would it be because you've been blessed with a particular life where you get to experience that, and whatever you choose to do in that life will be rather, I don't know, examined? All right. You have a tremendous amount of power and influence in our society right now. And right now, you're using it to tear down men and destroy their lives because you can change their name in the song, but everybody knows they dated Taylor Swift. And that's why they won't leave their house. So I'm pretty sure if you're making songs that you're using to make them so ashamed they won't leave the house, You should be splitting whatever you get from that song 50-50 with that poor fucker who has to live with the fact that now there's a song that millions of people love, that all his friends and family know about him and his relationship. And just because something ends poorly, Taylor, doesn't mean you get to destroy somebody in the public, make money, and then make a song about karma and have the balls to say it would be your boyfriend. If it was your boyfriend, he'd punch you in the throat for doing something like to a fellow man, because he knows how hard it is to be a man in this society and have women just ruthlessly destroy men because they no longer think they should be able to have their day in court, which is all the Me Too movement is, because they're so hungry for justice. They're willing to basically make a society where if anyone does anything bad in any way, if you go to social media to the right group, that person's life is over. Their career is over. Everybody they know doesn't want to talk to them, and you've destroyed their lives. You want to talk about karma? And what you do to people. Everybody should have their day in court. I don't give a fuck. If Hitler had lived, instead of blowing his brains out, he would have had his day in court. So if Hitler gets his day in court, anybody else doing anything ever gets their day in court. Why? Because we all get a chance to defend ourselves. The problem is when people don't get to defend themselves, Taylor. All right. So if you're making so much money, cut a check to all those men and apologize and understand sometimes shit doesn't work out. Maybe the reason they cheated on you is they're the last person you should be with. Actually, Taylor, I'm the first person you should be with because I am the exact opposite. I'm a nightmare. I am a daydream dressed up as a nightmare. Okay, I'm the best thing that could ever happen to you because I'm one of the best people that have been alive because I'm one of the most compassionate people who's ever lived. And if you think of Christ, you should think compassion. Okay, if he was anything, he was compassionate to even the people who strung him up and killed him. And more importantly, which people all seem to be forgetting or ignoring or don't want to know about the story of Christ, and it's a story, is he performed miracle after miracle and preached and taught these people profound things about how to live their lives better, his fellow Jews. And when the people in charge rounding up, it doesn't really matter because they're not important to the story. It's not the people who are killing Jesus, it's the people who refuse to help Jesus. All those people, think of it, thousands of people have seen his miracles, knows the truth, knows what he's being taught, including the disciples. But even the disciples, one betrays him, because somebody's supposed to betray him. I don't know why people are so wrapped up in Judas. I feel sorry for Judas that he's basically Snape from Harry Potter. He's got to be a bad guy. He's got to kill Dumbledore. That's what it means. It's got to happen. Why? Because even his own disciples deny him 3 times. All right? And then literally, that's exactly what happened. So his disciples are denying him, and the thousands of people which he showed the true power of God to through miracles and taught them profound things, so profound, we're still learning from them and working with them today because they are just the truth, and everybody's just going to have to deal with it. All right? They just are so powerful that we're still dealing with it today. Okay? So don't make the same mistake. Don't refuse to help somebody who wants to just help the world become a better place and just do the job that he wants to do, which is what his life's about. So please, I need some help. And I'm going to stream every day as often whenever I feel like it because it's very fucking stressful. I wasn't a smoker before this started, but now I am. So I'll give you my email. Maybe you want to cash app me or whatever, but I would prefer not to die of hunger, and I really don't want to run out of cigarettes any at this point. And I think I got that covered. I managed to get some cigars, which I don't normally smoke, but I guess I am now. All right. What makes me so sad is I love my family. And the reason this was so hard, the reason this took 8 years, is I refused to give up on my family until I finally realized they never wanted to have me. Because when my mom and dad met, were the young. They were playing around having fun. Well, my dad is the kind of guy can't keep his dick in his pants even if he tried. And my mom is the kind that just fucking loves money, apparently. She's lied to me my entire life about knowing that his family had money when she met him. All right. There aren't a lot of families floating around Peoria, Arizona, that have millions of dollars from farming, and they all went to Peoria High together, and they all live in the same community. So it's pretty much impossible for her not to know that the Baskets have a lot of money when she met Bruce Basket. Then this happened. They're together, but he's fooling around. I guarantee you he's fooling around. This man is charming and he has money and he's living in a community that's desperate for money. So women are going to be all over his dick. All over his dick. All right? Basically nothing more than a sophisticated form of gold digging, really. And yeah, that would happen to pretty much any man in our society if he had the opportunity to fuck any woman pretty much he meets who wants to fuck him. He's going to be cheating. So they're together. But now my mom's pregnant. Uh oh. That's not something my dad wanted. And it's probably not something my mom wanted either. All right. Because that means the party's over. And yeah, you can get married, which is what they did. But this is what happened. I was born and my dad left for 3 days. I couldn't find him. So my mom was sitting with me for 3 days, newborn baby, going through not sleeping at night, all the joy of a newborn baby, and she didn't have her own husband there. Number one, because I think my dad resented me for being alive because he knew that his party was going to get shut down. That, yeah, he likes to sleep with other women, but god damn it, he's going to have to be responsible for a baby, and he may not be able to fuck as many women as usual. And then you think my mother might have some conflicting feelings about me as she had to take care of a screaming baby. That's actually very sweet. All babies yell and scream. They're here to fuck up your life, really. And yeah, babies are the biggest monster ever. They will destroy your fucking life because that's what you will never love something more and hate it more than a baby. All right, after what they put you through, because that is a lifelong commitment. All right, they're going to put you through the ringer one way or another. These babies are here to change you. People are so attached to who they are. You shouldn't be. Not if you're miserable. You should be very happy about the idea your personality is about to radically change. All right, it's going to lead you to a happier place and maybe help you understand this place could be heaven if we stop being complete dicks to each other about it. All right, but that's not happening. So I guess this place will stay shitty because we want it to be shitty because we refuse to believe in good things when they happen. That's pretty much it. So I want you guys to have a blessed day. Thank you for listening. And I'll jump back on here when I can. I'm just trying to cope and process with people who refuse to love me, even though they should. You take care. Bye. All right. Just like I promised, I put my email in chat. Good luck. May the odds ever be in your favor.